my name is Woody. This is Change in the House of Pods, a podcast about Deftones. Today, my guest is Rick Alexander from Dallas, Texas. Rick and I connected on Instagram. He's a super fun guy to follow. He's into martial arts. He adores his daughter. And he's got some very strong feelings about Korn. And of course, he loves Deftones. Since '98. And he's got a fantastic story about his introduction to the band and some pretty cool stories about actually meeting the band, too, including running into Chino at a casino in Vegas. But the part I'm most envious of, he went to Woodstock for the Team Sleep Session. You're going to hear about that experience a few times this season, and each time, I swear, I felt like I was there. It's such a tremendous thing. But because I'm a rock star and I was running late to start this conversation, that's where we're going to begin today, with me and my excuses about how my kids made me late. But then we bond a little because we're dads, and we had some fun. You're going to enjoy this one. This is my conversation with Rick Alexander.
We're girl dad, man.
Yeah, man, it's super tight. It's super tight.
I know all those last minute problems that you said, like issues today. I know all about it.
It's an everyday thing for you by now, but it's still, I mean, my oldest is 6. But
you have 2 or 3.
I've got two. I've got one who's 6 and then one who is like 2.5. She'll be 3 in March. She was born like 2 weeks before lockdown started.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's all crazy. Everything's new and everything's just wild all the time. And an adjustment forever and ever. So that's why it's cool
it all. Enjoy it all.
I hear older dads or dads who've have older kids say that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, for real? I've lost more hair. I don't have any to begin with. And in the past 2 years, I've lost more hair.
It's hard. It's hard, man. Enjoy it all. The good, the bad. Before you yell at them, remember, is this what a 6-year-old's supposed to do? Is it, dude, it's a beautiful thing, man. And, but yeah, just enjoy it all, man. And just try to remember, all right, when I was 6, if I would have done this, how would I have liked my parents to handle it to where I can still learn a lesson that I need to learn?
Yeah.
And I always try to think like that, but we're not perfect, dude. I mean, I've apologized to my daughter many a times for overreacting.
I'm so used to that already. And she's 6.
I know, dude. They cry and you feel bad. And, I stopped spanking my daughter at a young age because I'm like, I'm a big dude and she's a small little girl.
Yeah.
And it ain't right. So I changed it up and I took advice from other people. But yeah, man, enjoy it all, man, because one day they're 2.5 and now they're 6. You see how quick your oldest went from 2.5 to 6.
And how old is your daughter? How old is it? It's Chloe, right?
Yes, Chloe's. She's 17.
17. Wow. I can't. That's terrifying.
It's going to be here tomorrow, dude. It's going to be here tomorrow. It's going to, it just enjoy it, man. And,
it seems like you do, bro. It seems like you do. That's one of the reasons that I was really excited to talk to you too. Like I said, like you're a girl dad, but it seems like you are so in love with being a dad. And obviously, like I really only know you through getting to know you through Instagram, which has been great because it really like you put that out.
I share a lot of my life on there. I share a lot of my life on Instagram because there's people that have followed me since Chloe was 2.5.
Word.
And they're like, dude, I've watched your daughter grow up. I've never met her, but I know everything about her, within, you know what I mean? And, but yeah, no, dude, I mean, I share a lot of my life. I don't get too personal with it, but I share a lot of my life. Me and my daughter, when we go to school things or when we go on vacation or when we're just out and about or when she wears a Deftones shirt and I call her a poser or,
What is she into? What kind of music is she listening to?
Okay. So I was one of those parents Tuesday afternoon trying to get Taylor Swift tickets.
Word, really?
Yes.
Did you get totally stonewalled? Yeah.
I got stonewalled bad, dude. But I mean, she always like, Dad, I like Deftones. I grew up on it. I grew up on it. But she likes, I mean, like as she's getting older, she's starting to like different stuff. Like she's jealous I've been to a Tyler the Creator concert. She's But well, I mean, we've been to like 3 Ariana Grande concerts. But
she's great though. Like
I love me
Ariana
some.
Grande is great. Like she's really good.
I love female pop.
Word.
To me, female pop is some of the best music ever. I love female pop. Female pop, man. I grew up on Madonna, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, and then
man.
Then the girls that were my age, like Christina Aguilera, and I loved all that. I love female pop. Female pop is some of my favorite music, dude.
Man, you're speaking right into my heart right now. That's I'm right with you. I bet you, even though my Spotify Wrapped this year is going to be totally butchered by all the stuff my kids have listened to, I guarantee you Janet's going to be in my top 3 artists played. I guarantee you, because it was just a Janet year for me. I needed it.
Man, I love me, dude. Female pop, dude. It's the best. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Nah, it's really fun. And that being the case, quick deviation. Did you hear the Britney Spears similarity in the Crosses song? Did you hear it?
I did. My friend, she sent it to me. She goes, "Have you seen this video where it's like the Crosses and the Britney Spears?" And I go, "Fuck no." But the whole time I was listening to that song, I was like, "This sounds like something else." And I couldn't figure it out. And then my friend Pam, she sent it to me. And I was like, dude, that's what it sounds like. And it's so fucking funny. And then Sean Lopez posted that post in his story. It was like a Britney Spears. I was like, are they selling a Britney Spears skateboard? But it was just like a Photoshop or whatever.
Yeah. He's just talking shit. He was just talking shit because he heard the fans saying it. And I didn't hear it at first until really he echoed it. And I was like, man, they're just hating. And then I went back. I was like, it's really there. It
lines up. Chino goes here, Britney comes. It lines up perfect.
It's really good. That's super fun. But before we get too far into Deftones, I did, because we are just getting to know each other, and I know that you have a really great story that you shared about your introduction to the band, which I thought was amazing because you just reshared it like within the past couple of weeks. Because that's usually how I like to kick off the episode. Is like, how did you first hear about Deftones? But you shared that story, and I think it's so amazing. But before we get to that, I want to switch things up a little bit and just do a quick little rapid fire Deftones get to know you, and ask you some questions that I think every fan probably considers. And usually I bury this sort of thing for the end of the conversation, but fuck it, I want to jump into it right away. Favorite Deftones album?
Around the Fur.
Around the Fur, really? And you said that no hesitation, you knew it.
No hesitation. Around the Fur.
That's because where you got in, that was when you got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's when I got into them.
Is your favorite song off of Around the Fur? Is your favorite song different?
Be Quiet and Drive.
It's the greatest song of all time.
I almost cry at every show when Be Quiet and Drive comes on. Like at the last dia, I close my eyes the whole time.
Word.
I love favorite song.
I'm with that 1,000%. How many times have you seen them? Do you know?
I don't know. 20, 30 sometimes.
Word.
Yeah.
Do you remember the best show that you've been to?
I don't know. I'm not really good because I forget set list almost immediately. But I don't remember anything because I'm just so like in love with the moment that I just remember a few things here and there. But I don't know. Recently, probably the second Dia de los Deftones, because we got to hear Smile. And that was really nice to hear.
Yeah, that was special. Mm-hmm. I wish that it hadn't gotten sort of ruined in advance, like it sort of slipped out that they were sound checking it and people found it out. And I wish that I hadn't known that it was coming, because that was an amazing. It was still an amazing moment, but some of the wind got taken out of the sails by knowing that it was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely understand.
I know you love the female pop singers, but what are 3 other artists that you love besides Deftones? Like, is there a top 3?
Yes, there is. Smashing Pumpkins,
okay.
The Darcy or Melissa Adafor era.
Word.
Cypress Hill.
Word.
I love me some Cypress Hill, dude.
Yeah.
And man, the third one, we're gonna go with the current band, Fantagram.
Yeah, I saw that you were excited about Fantagram at Dia.
Fantagram is my mess, dude. I love me some Fantagram, dude.
Josh motherfucking Carter has some beats. He really
does. He is,
and Sarah can sing the shit out of a song.
She can, really man.
Yeah, they are a dynamic duo.
Oh, they're so great live. They're so great live.
You were on cloud nine then when that DL lineup got announced.
Oh, dude, I love me some Deftones, but I've been seeing Deftones since '98. When I saw Phantogram on that bill, dude, it was just like I was hyped.
Yeah.
I was hyped.
Yeah. I was also really excited when I saw Phantogram because it had been a while. I mean, I think we first caught them like on Eyelid Movies or whatever, like the first album, or is it Eyelid Movies is the first Phantogram?
I think so. That's the green album with the yellow with the
with the things with the weird I think that was when I first caught it, and we saw him. It was a club show. It might have been a first dab, but it's been so long and they've got so many songs, and it was just like, oh, that's really dope. Like,
they're really good, man. I think I saw them when their second album came out, and then when their third album was about to drop. It was their last time in Dallas, and we went, and it was just awesome. Took a friend, and her jaw like hit the floor, and it was awesome. I was happy.
That's super cool. That's super dope. Yeah, that's really exciting. All right, so tell me about that first time. Tell me about the first time you heard about Deftones. Tell me about your introduction.
All right, so I was hanging out with some friends, and they're like, "Say, Rick, you want to go to this concert with us?" They were like, "It's a band called Deftones. We think you'll love them." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." And then just happened, one of my friends had some tickets, but he couldn't go for whatever reason. And it's not like it was sold out, but so I just, gave him like $20 or whatever. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
How old are you? About how old were you?
I'm 43. Oh,
at the time
in 1998, I was, had just turned 19.
Word.
Yep. And so I got the tickets or the ticket, and we went to the show, and there's this Australian band playing, Pitch Shifter. And then there's this other hardcore band called, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Sergio's band.
Quicksand. That was Quicksand.
Quicksand.
Yeah.
And then Quicksand was playing, and then boom, Deftones hit the stage. And like, I had never been to a show like this. And these guys were playing, and they looked like me. They dressed like I want to dress, because you got to understand, at this time, being like, I'm half Hispanic, and it was like you had to listen to rap. You got made fun of if you didn't. This is where I'm from at the time. And I see this band that looks like me on stage, and they're singing this music, playing this music that I loved. And so I'm going crazy, and I'll never forget. I'm standing like on the stage, it wasn't like a big club. And I see this dude walking like this, holding his nose and blood dripping. And he obviously he just came out of the mosh pit. And then I'm like, oh, I love this. And then they're jamming, and I'm, jamming. I don't know none of it, but I'm loving it. And then they go into this one song, 1, 2, 3, and I come with the Wicked, and they're playing Wicked by Ice Cube, and I just I love this band. It's it. And then the next day, I went to the local Best Buy, and I bought Adrenaline, and I bought Around the Fur, and for months, those 2 CDs were the only thing that got played in my Mustang. And and then shortly after that, White Pony came out, and got to enjoy a record release. And that's how I came to like the band, because I had some friends tell me I would love this band. And little did they know.
Little did they know. Like, really, little did they know.
Yeah.
Damn, that's so cool. I love that you got introduced in a live setting with the dude with the bloody nose. Like, what a vivid, what an amazing, like that's easily got to be one of the coolest concert experience, especially an introduction to Deftones.
I can still see the silhouette of the dude walking, holding his nose. I mean, it's clear as day, because I had never seen anything like that before. Yeah. And
I mean, but you were into Cypress Hill at the time. I'm sure you were into Ice Cube. You were into the Pumpkins. So you were checking shows, but I guess maybe nothing were you probably not checking, I guess, any heavy metal shows or anything where it was where a pit could get like that, I guess.
Yeah. Back then, Deftones pits were always
Deftones
crazy and lit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, yeah, it was just my jaw was on the floor. And the next day at Best Buy, give me that adrenaline, give me that Around the Fur, and then boom, for months, it's all I would listen to.
God, I so relate to that experience so hard. Just, I mean, just the like that introduction to them, and you just have this amazing like these albums that you can put in, and literally you don't have to press a button, you don't have to skip anything, you just let them play, and the entire time you're just like, this fucking rules. Like this is just so dope. Like for months on end, like I can relate to that so completely.
Like I remember the turn I was making whenever I found out that there was a voicemail on Around the Fur, because it scared the shit out of me, because I'm driving and I'm zoned out, and I'm like, oh, what was that? And then I was like, hold on, the CD hasn't ended. So then I'm like fast forwarding the CD, and I'm like, dun-dun. And then there's another song, and I'm like, what the hell, Bobby? What is this? Dude, and it's just so like tight. It was a new gift from an album I loved, you know?
Yeah. Man, none of my friends were like into Deftones like that. So none of them like put me on. And I swear to God, that hidden track caught me 3 to 4 times. I would get, what the just be like, you shook, like not even realizing that you've been listening to dead ass silence for 25-30 minutes. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit.
I remember where I was, and I was making that turn, and it caught me off guard. But yeah, like I said, like my friends, they like Deftones, but they weren't like hardcore, like,
they didn't fall in love like you fell in love.
So like before Facebook, Instagram, and all this, I just used to take random friends to shows with me.
Word.
And then I ended up my mother's daughter, she loved Deftones. So when we got together, I had somebody go to the show with me, and that was cool. And we went to several shows together, and finally I had somebody to go to shows with me. So that was really cool. She got the famous Deftones Sacto windbreaker for me one time. Like she left the rail and ran and got it for me.
Wow.
So, and brought it back to the rail. So yeah, man, it's just like, or I would just go to shows by myself.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter. I didn't care if anybody was around me. I just wanted to see my favorite band.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
What was the Pony release like for you? What was going on in your life when Pony dropped and you found out that the third album was coming? Well, you probably were catching shows when they started playing Korea, right? I would imagine that you saw them on. Or did you?
I honestly,
you don't know.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
So what was it like for you then? Do you remember what it was like when Pony came out?
I remember like Deftones are working on a new album. They got a new album out. And then one of my other favorite bands, Be Real from Cypress Hill, is going to be on White Pony. So I'm like, they know each other? And I'm like, they know each other? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And because the internet wasn't like it was back then. Like you'd go to watch Deftone videos online, and you'd have to download them and they would be in clips. It wouldn't be one solid video.
And sometimes it wouldn't even be Deftones. Sometimes it would be some other wild shit. You'd be like, what did I just spend 45 minutes of bandwidth hockey? Like
Exactly. So I'd be reading all these articles, and then that morning, because albums used to come out on Tuesdays or was it Fridays?
No, it was Tuesdays for a minute. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was Tuesdays. Albums used to come out. And so boom, I'm off from work, or I didn't go to college or whatever. I'm at the record store at the Parks Mall that day. Boom, I'll walk in there, get my White Pony, and I ordered those special jewel cases too, but those had to be delivered. You couldn't buy those at the store. And then I get my Deftones album, and I see they got White Pony stuff all over the store. So I started asking the manager, hey, can I have that? And he's like, yeah, dude, have it, dude. So it's like 10 in the morning as soon as the mall opens up. So then I get back to my car, and I'm like, first song I'm going to listen to is this song with Be Real. So I'm looking for it, and I go, I thought this song was going to be on here. And I was like, no. And so then I was upset because that song I had been reading about wasn't on there.
That's super funny.
And then it came out on B-sides and rarities. So,
right.
But but I just remember being so hyped because they were playing like Dave Letterman they were playing like Jay Leno and all those shows because like they played Change. I think it was on Dave Letterman. I could be wrong, but
it was a big deal. There was some build up to it.
There was some build up. They did that internet live show with White Pony.
Did you watch that? Do you remember watching that shit?
I don't think I did. I think our internet sucked too bad back then.
I know that was a real problem. That was
like y'all kids are spoiled nowadays with this good high speed internet everywhere. But yeah, like I don't think I could watch it. I think I tried and it was just impossible.
Right.
And but yeah, man, they pushed that really hard and I was happy, man, because whenever they would come on TV, they used to go to their website back when people used to go update their fans on their website, not their Instagram page or Twitter. And I would have a VHS ready to record. So when Deftones were on Jay Leno or like Conan O'Brien or that dude from MTV, Carson Daly,
word,
like I would record it and I'd have it on a VHS and, you know, watch it back and forth because there wasn't no YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
And goddamn, that Carson Daly one was so fire. Carson that was self-titled, right? That was so wild.
Yeah, he is a huge Deftones fan. From my understanding, yes, he's huge because he had Team Sleep on there too, I think.
I adore Carson Daly. Low key, like one of my favorite TV personalities of all time because he just seemed like he had no business being anywhere, but also at the same time fit perfectly in any scenario.
He was great at his job, man. You know,
was really good. Yeah.
He was a VJ that he introduced, he did interviews, and that's what he did. I mean, but yeah, no,
of course he was a Deftones fan. Of course,
yeah, man. I think there's
a picture of him wearing a didn't he? Huh?
Yeah, he did have.
Oh, really? And you have a picture too?
No. I think there is a picture of him wearing a Deftones shirt. I remember from back in the day.
I bet he had Jennifer Love Hewitt on his arm and everything too.
Oh, and Deftones at the Deftones show with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Lucky man.
I know what he did last summer.
I know what he did too. But yeah, man, the White Pony buildup was awesome, man. I remember it, and it was just really good because now I get to live my favorite band with the new album coming out.
Word.
And it was really cool. You know,
it's a special experience. That's really cool, and for Pony especially, like. It was really cool.
I'm probably one of the few fans that actually likes to see Change in concert. I love like of the hardcore fans like us. I know most of us like I don't want to hear Change. But it play Change 3 times for me. I'll sing it 3 different ways every time. I love Change.
That's what's up.
I love it, man. And then, you know what I remember? I was going to a little community college at the time. And some dude I used to hang out with at the school, he loved Deftones too. And he gave me a cassette. And it was a copy that he got online and recorded to a cassette. It was the White Pony leaked album. And it was back when Pink Maggot and Back to School were merged completely together. And then they split it for the White Pony album or something like that because they wanted Chino to rap to try to capitalize on that new metal Limp Bizkit, rap rock scene. And but yeah,
those songs were so like there's something about that timeline that I don't quite understand about when that song was recorded because Back to School is on all the leaks, but the way the story goes is they made them cut it after the fact, but it was on all the stuff that got. So I want to know how and when. I mean, obviously they were working on that album for a long time and whatnot, but it's a very curious. I mean, and I don't second guess for a minute that like is legit. Chino was upset and he didn't want to do it and all of those things. But there's something about that timeline that is very, again, for people who think about this sort of shit way too much, like it's a very curious.
I'd imagine it's like the memory is so bad because it's just like that's why like they don't like eyewitnesses aren't always so credible in criminal. Like he's told the story a million times. Steph has told the story of everybody.
I've heard them tell the story of the genesis of My Own Summer, like differently, like between 3 or 4 different guys. I feel like if each told that story differently, and it's like, that's okay. Like, I think that's fine. You know what I mean?
They all remember it different, and there's no wrong story, I guess. It's just the way they remember recording something they made over 20 something years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But
And yet every time you play it and you hear it, it immediately like takes you. It either takes you to that place where you like first heard it, or it puts you in that frame of mind where you experience it in especially Pony, a present way. Like it never feels old, even though it transports you. Is that weird?
Yes. No.
I feel like I might also be baked. When did you start traveling for Deftones shows?
I never really traveled for Deftones per se. Like I would go to San Antonio. Like there was one time I couldn't get off work. Work was like, nope, you can't get off. So that I bought tickets to the San Antonio show, which is like 4 hours south from here.
Yeah.
But I will go. I'm not a big festival head. I don't really not into festivals, but I will travel for Dia de los Deftones. Yeah. And then I have traveled to see Crosses, and I went to the Team Sleep Woodstock shows also.
I'm going to interrogate the shit out of you in a few minutes about the Team Sleep thing, because that is my greatest regret in life, is not going to that Team Sleep.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Deftones in too many different places. Just here in Texas, to where I couldn't make a Dallas show, but I will travel for Dia de los Deftones is the only festival I will go to.
Have you been to all three?
Yes, I've been to all three.
Yeah, and I feel like three timers. We need like a thing. We need like
we need that special, that three timer.
We need a three. We need the 3-timer discount.
They need a 3-timer. But I've seen Crosses in multiple cities, because those have turned into. I've seen Crosses here in Dallas. I've seen Crosses in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, the butt crack of America. Just kidding.
Butt crack of America. It's up there, man. And I've seen Crosses in Tucson. And
that's tight.
And then after the Tucson show, because we did a meet and greet, and you had to buy CDs at the CD place in Tucson to get tickets to the meet and greet. So we had a friend there, and she bought like 8 CDs, and we paid her back. Yeah. We paid her back, and we do the meet and greet. And so then we see the band, and then they announced the secret show in San Diego the next night. So we leave Tucson and just drive all night to San Diego.
Fuck out of here. That's awesome.
And they said, don't wait in line, because it's first come, first serve, and nobody is allowed to get in line until whatever set time they give. So we go to the venue, get in line at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And they're like, hey, what are y'all doing here? And they're like, oh, we drove here overnight from Tucson. And they go, are y'all those people from Texas? And we go, yeah. And they go, hold on, we're going to make y'all something. Y'all can leave, and they made us like little Crosses tickets, and it had like the 3 crosses, and it had the date on it, and they gave them to us, and they're like, y'all just come back later. This will get y'all in for sure. And
no, that's dope.
Yeah. So there was a few of us that got those, because they're like, hold on, were y'all in Tucson last night? And they're like, hold on, y'all earned this. So we got to see guaranteed.
That's what's up. And that was just like spur of the moment. You were like, well, fuck it, let's go then.
I'm trying to remember. Maybe they had already announced it and we planned it, or I don't remember how far in advance they announced it, but I think we knew we were going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like a small place. It was tiny.
Oh,
and
how cool.
Dude, there was some girl in line that I went to high school with that I didn't know that lived in LA. And she saw me on Facebook talking about it. And so she came and found me in line, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? And it just like blew my mind. And she was like the same thing. What the fuck are you doing here in San Diego to see this band Crosses nobody knows? And it was crazy, man.
Wow. That's so dope. I wish that I had sort of put that together earlier in life. Like, I feel like it took me until maybe my late 20s or even 30s to early 30s to figure out, like, I need to just throw caution to the wind and go chase my favorite band a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like
it's special. It's fun.
It's fun. Now, like, if my daughter was to tell me she was going to do that, I'd be a little scared. But it's me, so it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
It's me, so it's different.
And like you said, like these, these crosses shows, that's a nobody little band at that point. Like they're playing these little clubs. I mean, that's
little clubs.
That's that to
and
me
in
hindsight, that's
sets.
a no-brainer. Yes, with Chino doing anything.
Yeah.
You're like, why there should be a couple hundred people in the room.
Yeah.
Easy. Why not be one of those couple hundred people?
Yeah, I had to do it, man. I had to do it. And I remember one of those shows was like on my mom's birthday in February. And I was like, Mom, please don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. And she's like, I'm not mad at you. I expect it. Go do what you do. And I said, we're going out to eat big time when I get back.
Yeah.
We're going out to eat big time.
Supersize.
You get the big piece of chicken, Mom. So, but yeah, no, I remember. But yeah, I'm lucky because my daughter understands my love for Deftones. And she's like, when a show's coming up, I'm like, I don't know you no more. All I know is Deftones. Who's Chloe? And I'm just like, I talk a lot of trash to my daughter. She just ignores me or she talks it back. So, but yeah, I'm lucky that I get to, I've got to do stuff like that. So
yeah.
It's fun.
Obviously, it's great when your favorite band tours in your town, but what do you do when they don't? We travel to see them, of course. And believe me when I tell you, the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota is worth traveling for. Hey, it's Woody. I'm lucky. HRI is 5 minutes away from my house. But if you aren't in the Twin Cities, you are also in luck. With their Hair by Air program, HRI will reimburse your flight, get you to and from the airport for free, and they have complimentary on-site hotel accommodations. Yeah, that's right. There's a hotel attached to HRI. This is literally the best case scenario if you want thick flowing hair like a Viking or a rock star or a lion. Well, maybe that's too much. Check out the Hair by Air program at the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota at hrimn.com. All right, now what are we going to do with this guy? We can't just leave him lying around. Right?
When was the first time you got to meet the band?
Ooh. I don't really remember. When I would go to shows after that first one, I would always get there really early. And, they'd walk by and be like, what's up, Chino? What's up, Steph? Abe, Chi. The hardest person to ever meet was Frank.
Word.
He was always in and out, but, so I would always go to shows early and just like meet them and say hi. And then I remember it was probably my second show to go to, and I got them to sign a $20 bill.
Fuck out of here. That's so cool.
And I got the $20 bill framed around here somewhere, dude. And
that's the coolest shit ever. You got everybody seen that you got all five?
I didn't get Frank.
You didn't get Frank? Fucking
He's
black
impossible.
Cat.
He's impossible. He's impossible. It's probably for the best because he probably doesn't want to be harassed, and I get it.
Word.
You're there just to play music. You don't have to entertain people beyond the ticket. Yeah. And I get it, but
if they sign a 20, that's so dope.
I got a $20 bill. I got the ticket. I think it's the ticket in there, and I got a white pony pick in there. It's an orange white pony pick from Steph. And I remember because I was at the show, I always go on Steph's side if I'm at the rail. I try to. It's not always possible, but Steph's side. And I remember just going hardcore, just And this dude walked up from backstage. He goes, hey, dude, we're all watching you from the back and you're fucking intense. And I go, it's my fucking favorite band, dude. And he's like, I get it. And he, we fist bump. And then I'm just like, I'm just going at it. I've memorized all their movements and, how they do everything. And then after the show, Steph walks up to me and shakes my hand and he gives me that guitar pick. And it was the coolest thing ever. I'm on cloud 9 and it was a great moment. I'll never forget. But and just go to shows. Like, I don't know, sometimes on my stories, it'll pop up. I was at a show and we got there early and Chino's running laps. He's running. So I always make a joke and I'd be like, the day I was Chino's running coach, because I'm sitting there talking to him and somebody snapped a picture of it. He's like stretching with his legs and stuff. And like the day I was Chino's running coach, I was like, run more, run faster, or whatever. But yeah, you know, it's cool to meet them and stuff like that. You know, I just try to say hi and not get all up in their grills and stuff, because I'm one of thousands of people that's trying to hug them, shake their hands, and say hi. And I've met them in Vegas and stuff. Like, I went to a Vegas show with some friends, and Chino was walking around the casino, and I was with this girl I was dating at the time. I was like, dude, that's Chino. Let's go say what's up, and took a picture with him and stuff. And that picture I took with Chino at that Vegas show that year for Christmas, my daughter made a pillow with that picture. It was the funniest thing. So I got this little bitty pillow. I got this little bitty pillow, and it's a picture, you know, me and Chino taking a picture, you know, and it's a trip, dude. It caught me off guard when I got that. I'm like, I got the Christmas present. I'm like, is this a pillow? Like, it's all wrapped up. So, you know, she's a little girl. And I'm like, it's me and Chino, because it was a picture from that year.
Dude, that's so tight. That's I covet my first photo with Chino. It's you can see it over my shoulder. It's right there. It's this one.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? That's the first time I interviewed them. But the first picture is there. That was the Diamond Eyes tour meet and greet. And then this one was the first time I got to interview them. And then that's 2016, and then that's Incubus. But
that first time you interviewed them, was it at your radio station that you worked at?
No, it was on their bus.
It was on their bus?
It was on their bus for the it was the first Knot Fest, but it wasn't the first Knot Fest. It was the first year they started doing Knot Fest. They did a show in Iowa, or like 2 shows, and then they did 2 or 1 in Wisconsin. Maybe 1 in Iowa, 1 in Wisconsin. I think this was right before Koi came out. And that was when I got to interview them. I found out it was going to happen. And I was like a baby DJ still. Like, I was still like, hadn't been on the job for a couple of years when I got to do it. And like, they were the whole reason that I even like became a DJ. Like, they didn't.
It's your job, and that's your dream interview, dude. Like,
and I fumbled it a little bit, but I feel like it was still great. And I like, beyond, you know, my professional criticism of myself, if I can actually consider myself a professional, it was just like a surreal experience, like being outside waiting, and Steph and Abe rolling by, and like Abe offering me a beer and like taking pictures with them. Like, it was, you know, and it was outside their bus, you know what I mean? It was a trip. The whole thing was just like
I can imagine,
surreal experience.
You're doing your job, but you're interviewing like the band you love the most. And I can just imagine.
Let's be honest. The job itself is just talking shit on the radio.
Yeah, but
like the rare occasions that you do get to interview somebody, like, radio DJs have no business whatsoever. We aren't trained. We are barely high school educated for the most part. Like, we're an industry of C students, and all of those things are great things. But what I'm trying to point to is that there is no preparation. There is no level of like readiness. So while to say it is my job is true, but also I feel like gives me a little bit more credit than is due. Like, I had no business being in that room with those men asking questions. Like, what would a Deftones festival look like? Maybe to some degree. It definitely kept me in the business for the next 10 years.
I can give something that relates. I'm a martial artist, and I do jiu-jitsu. So if you get a new belt and you get beat up, you're like, I didn't earn this belt. I didn't earn this rank or whatever. So I understand what you're saying, but you earned it, dude. You put in the work, and you got the interview, man, in your professional job. It's cool. Just like me. I'm not a professional photographer, but I don't have too many goals in photography other than to capture every important moment of my daughter's life that I possibly can. And I want to take pictures of that band on stage.
Hell yeah. Dude, you know, Live Nation has a website where you can just apply for media credentials.
No, see, I didn't know that. I've never. Yeah, dog.
I'm putting people, the however many half a dozen people that are listening to this part of the conversation right now can get put on too. Just go to Live Nation's media credential application. Tell them that you're with some big shot radio company, and I bet you they'll just green light your shit, and you'll get in there. If you guys, especially with your work, if they ask for any sort of work, I'll see if I can pull some strings for you too. Let me know when next. Hopefully they'll announce another tour soon. I'm assuming that they're going to, and I know they're going to hit Texas, which actually leads to another question that I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
Is this Texas relationship with Deftones real? What is this Texas thing with Deftones? Man, what is it? With
honestly,
Deftones, man.
I think it's there's a lot of rockers in Texas and people that like hardcore music, but that like soft music too, because I mean, Deftones just ain't a hardcore metal band. They're just a band that, you know, plays a wide variety of music. But honestly, dude, I think a lot of it is you see dudes on stage that look like you. I honestly believe seeing people, representation, and then they look cool as fucking hell on. Chino looks cool on stage. Steph looks cool on stage when he's got that fan blowing and his cigarette on the neck of his guitar. And then you got A back there, like one of the most underrated drummers in the music business, because he is fucking amazing. And then, I don't know, man, they just make you feel emotional because, and then a lot of people that listen to Deftones like this 80s music that's really emotional. And we like a variety of music, and we can just hear all the different styles that they pull up from, because you know they like rap, you know they like heavy metal music, you know they like pop. And when they get on stage, it just makes you feel a certain way. And Texas is a big state. You know, we have Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio that, you know, they always hit these main cities, and you know, they just drive a lot of people there. And it's like Abe, you know, said one time, there's two bands from Texas, ZZ Top and Deftones. And it was like a PBS interview he did in Austin. I'll look for it and send it to you. But yeah, he was like, there's two bands from Texas, ZZ Top and Deftones. I mean, and it's just, I don't know, man.
You felt that. I know you felt that.
I felt that. I was like, right there.
Represent, yeah.
And then I was just like, you know, and I think that's a lot of it. You just put all that together, and because you got one Deftones fan, like you go to most music genres or styles, all the fans look the same. But you can go to a Deftones show and see all kinds of people dressed differently, talking differently, you know, and it's just, you know, I know there's other bands like that, of course, but Deftones, it demands a certain community of different groups coming all together. Like, dude, you got the Cholos at the show, you got the rockers at the show, you got preps you got everybody at the show, and it's all good.
It's one of the things that I feel like I try to articulate and talk about when I talk about Dia, and like how it is this, like it's that experience that you have at a Deftones show in your city, but it's like to the next level, where it really is this disparate group, this bunch of people who are really different. Although I will say, especially in San Diego, the fact that it is a lot of people, a lot of brown people who are like, I feel like are feeling the same way that you are, like, this band looks like me, and this, and I think that is a part of how special that is. It's these people bringing all of these people together, from all of these different like walks of life, that it really is. It's like this kumbaya thing that's like not kumbaya. Man. You know what I mean? Like
but it is kumbaya.
But it is. It is, but it isn't, but it is. Yeah. It is. It's really dope.
And it's like,
it's unique to any festival. It's unique to any experience that I've had as a concert going experience.
They had Future there one year. They had Meg Thee Stallion there one, and this is Deftones. You know what I mean? It's like, it makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But it fucking
does.
works.
It does.
What's that lyric Chino says? We clash, but we create. You know what I'm saying? Like
Word.
it makes no sense, but we create.
It's so cool. Like it's definitely the like peak concert. I've said it before, it's my Super Bowl. I'm gonna go back as long as they're doing that, because that feeling of like, I feel like both you can like let loose and just be whoever you are, and also like feel welcome and like and have a great time. It's all right there in this beautiful setting with all of this.
I've never seen drama. I've seen drama and fights at every concert I've ever been to.
Word.
Never at Dia.
Not even
everybody's cool. Everybody is cool.
Yeah. And, hope it stays that way forever, man. Because I think it will that forever and ever.
Yeah, man. So I think it will. But yeah, it's just like now. I remember being the 19-year-old at the show. Now I'm the 43-year-old, and I still see 19-year-olds at the show. I see these young teenage. Like I do jujitsu, and there's this kid I do jujitsu with. He's 13. His older sister's 15. Talked to his mom one day, and she's like, "Yo, my daughter likes Deftones." And I go, "Really? How old is she?" 15. And I go, "What?" I go, "There's a 15-year-old girl out here loving Deftones." And she goes, "She loves the death, dude." And now like I have a connection with her son through martial arts. But now, like the daughter, his sister, this 15-year-old girl, I've talked to her about shows, like when I see her at jiu-jitsu tournaments or when she comes to the class, and she'll ask me. And then she went to the last show here in Dallas, and I saw her that same week or whatever. And she's like, "Rick, that was fucking awesome." She was like, "I can't wait to go again." And I'm telling her, "Look, dude, next time we go, we'll get pit tickets and we'll go together and we'll have a legit time." And like it's just like seeing like how they still speak to the young generation is amazing, because I know a lot of bands don't do that, but they still do. They still make popular music for all ages. And
why?
It's amazing.
What is that? How do they do that? How is it that they've managed to be the band? Like obviously there have been bands that emerged from that time that were great and maybe had a lot more success or were, but none of them have continued to be as relevant and innovative, and like they're trying, but they never seem to have the same amount of, I feel like, artistic success. Not necessarily even commercial, because a lot of people. Word.
They just grind, dude. They work. They're not trying to they're not cookie cutter. They make the music for them, and we just happen to enjoy what they make.
Word.
And they're not trying to impress anybody. And they're not trying to sound the same on every album. Yeah, of course, every album has that core Deftones sound, but every album is a different branch to that adrenaline tree. And
so you really do feel like adrenaline is like the root, the pardon the pun, but there it is.
It has to be. It has to be. And then everything just goes on, because that's their core sound. That is them.
It is.
But then they're like, "Okay, around the fur, we're going to add this in here. We're going to do a song like Mascara." And then, White Pony, we're going to do some song, some electronic song. I forget whatever song it was on there, but and then you got like Pink Cell Phone.
Teenager's probably the one.
Teenager.
Yeah. There aren't too many songs that like Pink Cell Phone or Lucky You. There aren't a lot of songs that deviate too far from what they do.
They're not afraid to.
But they're not afraid to.
And they trade, and it fucking works. I mean, it fucking works. I mean, I just love it, dude.
Are there any that you don't like? Are there any songs that you're just like, I'll skip?
No, I mean, there are some songs that, of course ain't my favorites, but I can tell you one. I don't care if I never hear it. Knife Party.
Word. You don't like Knife Party?
Oh yeah. See, that's odd. I like Knife Party, but I think it gets a little too much hype.
Word.
But
I think because I think it's a great song. I love it live, especially after Chino really got good at doing it all by himself. Like that is the version of that song that I prefer. But to just say nah altogether is interesting to me. That's interesting.
Yeah. But I'm also that dude that wants to hear change every concert. So, you could see he's like, I got to go against the grain sometimes.
That's cool.
I got to go against the grain sometimes.
Is there something that is like really special that you would love to hear live?
Dude, there is. Me and my friend Gilbert, he knows the one song. I mean, I've told other people, but it all started with him one night when we were hanging out. I want to hear Crenshaw Punch.
Word.
I'll throw rocks at. I want to hear that song fucking live, dude. I'll never hear it live. They're never gonna play it.
You're never gonna hear it.
They probably don't even remember the lyrics to it. But
does it matter? They don't remember the lyrics. She doesn't remember the lyrics to a lot of songs, or at least she forgets them, which is fine. I'm not hating. That's what it is. I forget them too.
Dude, if I heard that song live, like, give me some napkins because there's going to be a cleanup on aisle 7. You know what I mean? Because I just want to hear that song so bad.
That's what's up. Yeah, I wanna hear some wild shit like self-titled front to back, like just some.
Oh yeah, dude! Could you imagine self-titled front to back?
For them to just be like, all right, fuck it, let's just do some wild shit, like play that.
Like it was funny because on your last podcast about Dia, so there's a song. Or sometimes when I post pictures of my daughter, I'll put the emojis cherry and 2 waves, and so I'm always, I love cherry waves. And then on that last podcast, you're like, you, and like, just listen to y'all do that for like the next 2 days. I'm like, you.
That's so dope. You really can't, like, once it gets in your head, it's going to be in my head again for the next few days. It just got out.
Exactly.
It's going to be back.
I was laughing so hard at that part when y'all were talking about that. I'm like, this is just big facts, put this in capital letters, it
really is. It really is. It's undeniable. And who would have thought, like, I don't know. I was so separated from that album because of, I think, everything that was surrounding it and all the drama and everything else. And I was, 20 something. So I was like, yeah, bring me the drama. I'm not trying to see this from any other, like, so to me, it was the hardest album for me to get into. I still force-fed it to myself for a lot, but it was like that it still gets
it's the best, dude. How can you not like that?
Like there was only a handful of songs where I was like, I'm definitely listening to Kim Dracula, you know what I mean? I really loved Pink Cell Phone even when it came out. I really did. And fucking Cherry Waves is tough,
whenever Pink Cell Phone came out, everybody went to Google and would go to Urban Dictionary and be like, what's hot Carling, like Urban Dictionary time, we got to figure out what hot Carling is.
So good. It's just so good.
Hey, it's Woody for the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota. I turned 40 this year, and more than any other birthday, I felt like this year I deserved to really treat myself. And above all else, the one thing that I really wanted to do for me was fix my hair. I started losing my hair 20 years ago. It was awful. I loved my hair. Losing it was miserable. I hated the way it looked and having to hide under a hat for family photos. Then I went to the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota. They're the #1 hair transplant clinic in the Midwest with hundreds of 5-star reviews. And getting my hair restored was actually a relaxing experience. It was sort of like a day at the spa. There was no pain. It was really fast healing. I mean, I was back on the air in just a couple of days. Whatever your hair loss, whatever your goal, they have the surgical, non-surgical, and cosmetic options for you. Schedule your free consultation at hrimn.com. That's hrimn.com.
Okay. Tell me about Woodstock. Tell me about going to that.
Oh, okay. I got you. So they announced this thing. Team Sleep is at Woodstock, and there's going to be 2 shows, and you can buy tickets to the first one or the second one. And, it's going to be in Woodstock, New York. So me and a group of my friends were like, y'all want to go? And everybody's like, let's fucking do it. Because it was probably like a 6-month lead up time to it or whatever. So we go and, we make a day out of it. New York City, like the day before. and we stay out in New York all night. Then we finally go get a rent-a-car and drive up to Woodstock, New York, and we get a hotel room out there. And then we wake up and we go. And we go get something to eat. Then we go. We couldn't get there till like in the afternoon, I think. We get there, and it's like this, it's a big house on like kind of like, I guess maybe like some like a small farmland or something like that. Like they had a ranch. There was like a barn and stuff. There's this goat walking around that we all liked. It was
Chino's the goat.
Chino's the goat. And then like we walk in and they're like, all right, we're about to let y'all in, and we can hear them playing music. And they're like, look, you can go anywhere, like right here where they're playing. There's a bunch of chairs there. And they cut it down to one show because not that many tickets sold. And so they had all these like fold out chairs, and like, the band is right here. Like you got the drums, the keyboards, whatever. And then there's the sound room with the control board, and we could go in there too, and like watching them while they're mixing and stuff like that. So like, let's say, man, who's the guy that played drums? He's the Marilyn Manson drummer. I can't think of his name, but he was the drummer because something happened to the original drummer. And he come out. I remember he was like one of the first ones, and they're like, do this again. And he's like doing his thing, and like, do it again. And you could tell making the album's really boring and tedious because it's just a lot of like repeat. And they even said something like that. They're like, it's not that glamorous. It's just repeat, put it together. Yeah. So, we're watching them, and then like Chino would come out and play, or whoever would come out and play, or a few of them would come out and play. And then you could go in the room and watch them mix and talk about, oh, this is how this sounds or whatever. And then there was like a catered lunch or dinner, and we ate. And then we went back and they did a show. There's probably 50 of us in there, maybe, and, they play this show, and, everybody's heard it or seen videos of it. And, I'm sitting, there's like 2 rows, I think, maybe of seats. And I'm right here in front of, what's his name? He's the keyboardist, Ricky Vett or something like that is his name. And I'm sitting like right in front of him, and like Todd's off here. And I think Chuck Doom was behind them, but they're playing these songs, and it's amazing. And I don't remember like in the live album that if they kept restarting or something, because I remember Chino was like, no, this don't sound right. So they had to restart a couple of different times, and then they're playing. And then I remember crying. I'm a crier. I will cry for anything and everything. I am like, we'll be watching a movie, and my dad will be like, Dad, you crying again? And
we're kindred spirits, dog. We're kindred spirits.
So I'm crying at this Team Sleep concert, and then the show's over, and then throughout the day they're taking breaks, and we're outside hanging out with them, talking to like Crook or Todd. I had the old school Team Sleep shirt, and Todd was like, dude, I ain't seen that shirt in fucking forever. He's like, that's one of the OG shirts, and we took a picture with it. And then I remember Chino asked him about some picture he took on stage or something in Dallas, because he said he was going to post it. He never did. And he's like, man, let me see if I'm looking at it. My friend's taking a picture of me, and I'm just like being all nosy on Chino's cell phone. You know what I mean?
What you got in there, dog?
I'm just being all nosy on his cell phone. And
that'd be a fun camera roll to get a peek at. Sure.
I don't think it was that glamorous from what I could remember. It was just like our camera roll. But yeah, you think, man, it's a rock star. You know what I mean? But so we're doing,
it's like what he spent on gas and shit. It's
yeah,
like pictures of receipts.
Yeah. And then we're talking all day and doing that, and then they're because they're taking breaks from playing, and then they do that show, like I said. And then afterwards there's like a couple of little bonfires, nothing big, and they're talking, and it's just like like Chino, Todd, Crook, they're out there talking to all of us, and it's like a big circle. and they're just telling stories. And I remember, you know, I think Team Sleep maybe played in Amsterdam or something like that, and they were like, you know, growing up in Sacramento, we were big fans of Smashing Pumpkins, and they were like, Billy Corgan was at our show in Amsterdam, and I really hope I'm getting the city right. I could be completely wrong, but the story, he was like, so he watched us play. He's like, do y'all not know how to tune y'all's guitars? And and then they were like, look, we don't care. That's Billy Corgan. That's not like our hero. Like, he just saw us, you know, get down on stage and play. And but it was really cool, man, just sitting there talking and all that. And I'm probably the only person that has a set list from that show. Wow. Because I thought quick enough to be like, hey, can I get that set list? And like, I got it. And I know there's another one, so maybe somebody else got the other one. I don't know, but I still have it. And but yeah, I mean, but we never got the album we were promised, because remember, they were making an album and they were going to release another album.
Right.
And all that.
Yeah.
And who knows where that album is? It's,
well, maybe it was just that live Woodstock sessions. Was that was it?
But I think maybe, like, weren't they making it out like a new Team Sleep album's going to drop? You know,
I feel like I've even heard something like since. You know what I mean? Like within the past few years that was on the table, but. I don't know. I feel like at this point that becomes increasingly like more wishful thinking. I don't know. I'm less optimistic. I mean, especially with the success that Crosses is having, and that's great. And Todd seems to be, I don't know, like
I think he's a teacher.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, he just seems sort of indifferent to going down that road, which is respect that. Cool. There's still a lot of love for everything that they did, and there is a lot of. I think romance to like the mystery surrounding all of those recordings and the demos and the magic of that moment and the wild weirdness of that moment. Like, was Chino leaving Deftones and what's going on?
Remember, that's what everybody thought. It was like, are they breaking up?
Confused, yeah.
And the internet.
Little did we know he was
just
getting sober.
Yeah.
He was just trying to clean up. And that's
the internet sucked back then, so you really couldn't figure out an answer. You just had to wait till the interview dropped or something.
And all you had, like, but you still kept getting these songs. Like we would find these songs online, and they were like really good. They were like
the demos are amazing.
They're so good, and you're like, shit.
The demos are really good.
And I think that's why that fueled, like, the fact that they were so great really fueled the question, like, is Chino done with Deftones? Because like this other thing was great. Like,
man, it was really awesome. And so I'm glad he wasn't. Good, but
yeah,
but man, dude, that Team Sleep experience was awesome. It was the tickets were $500.
What a like bargain in hindsight. What a bargain.
You don't realize it until after that it was worth more than that $500 to.
Oh my God.
Like, see that show in a dark room, you know, with, you know, this cool band, because Deftones will never do anything like that. They're too big, you know, like, but it was really cool. And it was amazing. Cause like, dude, like, I think they served like peach cobbler or something as dessert. I'm fucking eating peach cobbler with Crook and, you know, whoever, you know.
That is literally the coolest shit anybody's had on this podcast.
It was crazy, man. It was really good. And
the cobbler,
you know, the cobbler was good. And but yeah, man, you're there with, like, I was there with several friends, like, from all over the country. We planned this all together.
I love that.
And we figured it out. And it was awesome, man. It was like memories I'll have forever that, you know, I'll always cherish. But yeah, it was fucking amazing, dude. And I was really glad I did it. And not trying to rub it in your face, because I know you said it was a regret of yours, but you asked me about it. It was amazing. And that whole build up to that day, I was just like, dude, we're about to go see these motherfuckers in this like little, it's a big house, but you know, it's a little house at the same time.
I know,
and
so great. And that there was 50 people at best. Like
it was about 50. Yeah, you know, it wasn't
$500 for the ticket plus the flight, lodging,
and the hotel.
You got to plan the whole thing. But now we're in the days of the, you know, crazy new world new metal festival where the entry, like the ticket alone was like $250 or $300 just to get in the door for that thing.
I saw they have financing for festivals now.
Financing for festivals, yeah, 20 down, I'll get you a ticket, and then 60 for the next 8 months or whatever. It's like,
that's crazy to me, dude. That's crazy, and
it further just underscores the absurd, like that. It should have been a no-brainer. I don't know if I was just a moron 20-something-year-old. Like I should have just been like, bro, get your credit card out, put that down, go to New York. This is insanely. This is like what an incredible.
Yeah, it was
once in a lifetime. Like you said, they're never going to do that. There will never be another experience like that. That's and the videos, like you said, everybody's seen it on YouTube at this point. I would have been right. Yeah. I would have been bawling in your shoulder, dude. I would have been crying all of just. Like,
I mean, dude,
your skull is red. Get out of here,
dude. That scream, and your skull is red live, and on the live album. But like, I was right there. Like, I'm right here sitting in my seat, and Chino's like on Steph's side. If we were at a concert, he's on Steph's side, and that side of the, you know, the house or the studio or whatever, and he's just like. You know, and you're just like, fuck, you feel it. And it was just amazing. And yeah, man, it's just like, it was a really good time. And just hearing them talk and stuff, you know, because dude, we're at a bonfire. Like when we think so bonfire, crazy. We're thinking of like, I'm saying bonfire, but it really wasn't like a big bonfire. It was more like a few small fires going
pits on.
Yeah, dude. And it's like Chino, Todd, and Crook there talking, you know, and like the original members of Team Sleep, and they've been friends since, you know, they were teenagers probably.
Right.
And it was really cool, you know, because getting to see like Crook and Todd play with their friend that they knew before he was Chino of Deftones. It was amazing, dude. And I still get goosebumps. I listen to that album sometimes and I'm like, fuck, I was there, dude. It was pretty fucking cool. And I know you've seen it on my story. Sometimes I like to go on rants about posting pictures from then. And but it was awesome, man.
No, dude, post that shit forever. Post that shit as often, as regularly, as redundantly as you want. Relive it.
I will.
Enjoy that shit, cherish it. That's golden. Like, man, what a beautiful thing. That's so cool.
It was awesome, man. Not gonna lie, it was beyond awesome. It's up there in the memory bank of big smiles.
Yeah. So I'm gonna graduate because you're a serious fan, because I know that you have a deep love for the band. I haven't explored this topic too much yet on this podcast because, well, frankly, it's been a little raw and the wounds have been fresh. But I want to talk about the departure of Sergio Vega with you. I'm curious to know, like, what you felt about the situation when you found out, how you feel about it now, and where you sort of sit in all of this, because I'm sure you've got a lot of love for Sergio. Just like
I love me some Sergio, man. He, like, you know, when she had his accident, all those years he was in his coma, I think Sergio breathed life back into this band. Dude, Diamond Eyes is one of the most amazing albums of theirs ever. And he, you know, you've heard them say it in interviews, or at least Chino, because a lot of the other members don't do interviews. It was like Sergio, you know, gave us a new life, and he brought something different and made us want to play again. And you know, I love me some Sergio. And whenever I guess I found out that he wasn't in the band, it caught me off guard because I thought he was in the band. But come to find out, he was, you know, I guess contracted into the band, because it's been like what, 12 years, 3 albums. But you know, I guess like right off the bat, everybody's emotional about it. And I probably was, I know I was too. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. But then, you know, as time passes and you find out a little bit more, you know, look, you know, if he was contracted to the band, I guess they can do whatever they want to do. It's their band, obviously. Right. But I wish he was still in the band, man, because seeing Sergio on stage was amazing. Like just seeing him, he would get into it, man. Like he was hopping, screaming, singing, smiling. You know, he was all over the place. And, you know, I miss me some Sergio because now I can't tell you who plays bass now. I don't care to know who plays bass. At the same time, a little scary because you don't want to hear about a band breaking up, any of the members, because usually that starts being a downfall, especially if they've been a band for well over 20 years like they have. And it looks like it's going to work out for them. And believe me, I hope it does. It's going to be a sad day when there's only one more Deftones song live ever before they eventually, they're going to stop playing music eventually. Everything stops. Sure. They're going to get too old or whatever. Something, you know, eventually that day's going to come. And it's going to be a sad day when like, hey, this is the last song we ever play live, you know? But, you know, I wish Sergio was still in the band, but, you know, I guess he's not, obviously, but.
Does it seem to you like it's, and this is an honest question, does it seem to you like it's a little bit, I don't know the right word for it, so I'm going to use the wrong word for it, but childish, maybe wishful thinking to be like, all right, a band has to be comprised of equal members who all have a similar stake in the band, because I feel like a lot of people are lamenting that in the fact that he wasn't given full membership for the years that he put in and the things that he contributed. But to say that, like, to be the devil's advocate, I guess, which is a shitty thing to be, like he wasn't really there for White Pony and Around the Fur and Saturday Night Wrist and Self-Titled and Adrenaline. So does he, like, is full membership even a real thing, whether or not it's on paper, or does that even matter? Like, I don't know, man. Like it's really hard for me to, because on the one hand, I want my band to survive and be great and whatever.
Yeah, but it's not our world, and I guess we don't know how those contracts work or whatever, man. It's just like, I don't, and I'm about to use the wrong word too. Maybe as fans, we just took it for granted that he was in the band. We just assumed he was in the band because it was like, what, 4 albums, right? 3 or 4 albums that he made with them. And you just assume he's in the band, you know? But like I said, we don't know the inner workings, I guess. And
I feel like in the band means different things for fans and for musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in the band for Sergio probably meant a greater stake in ownership. Whereas maybe for the other guys in the band, it meant you're in the band because you're contributing creatively and performing and you're doing these things. And then for fans, it's you're making the music and you're on the show and you're doing the thing. I don't know. I think
for fans, it's like all or nothing.
Right.
But
yeah, it really isn't all or nothing for fans. Yeah.
But to them, it's their job. Like it's what they do. It's how they feed their families. And that's a good point. Like it means something different to them. And who knows? I mean, maybe they started clashing. Like maybe that fool really was out of pocket. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I believe fully, because it does. I don't think it has anything to do with him as a musician. I think it just has to do with them as personalities, and that the working relationship wasn't working as successfully as it was.
And money ruins everything.
Money ruins a lot. I think timing certainly was not favorable because
it was COVID,
Steph's feelings, Sergio's demands or requests, all of that happening at the, the timing was was what it was. But I also think that now, looking at how the band is constructed and moving forward, like, I like the way some of these dudes are doing their jobs. Like, I fucking loved the way that Lance was screaming his ass off into needles and pins.
Is he the one that plays bass now?
No, Lance. So Lance is doing the backup. He's doing the guitar. He's doing the additional
guitar. He does
guitar,
like the Chino guitars.
and then he replaces Steph overseas
in Europe. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever they play internationally. But Fred Sablin is the new bass player.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I know the name now. I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I guess I'm not going to learn another bass player, you know.
But you're also not 19. You're also
I'm not 19.
You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't matter. And you have the history, you have the love. You don't need to, right? Like, and I feel like some of that is youthful need for this connection.
And I wonder, like, if they write another album, who's going to write the bass? Is it going to be, the new guy?
I think Fred will be a contributor. This is me speculating, of course, but I think just like Sergio, he's going to be a contributor. He's going to get probably a yes or no from the other guys in the band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he'll still be a creative contributor. It's just going to be like, he may not have the same
stake.
He's not going to get that merch cut. He's not going to get that beer cut or that weed cut.
Which I get. I mean, I get, because that's the whole band, and you're only part of like this certain era. I get. But you think about it, like we were talking about earlier, how there's like these teenagers that still go to this. There's some people that only know Serge.
Right.
Like, they've heard of this Chi dude.
Right.
But they've only
ever
ever seen Serge live. And that's how long he was in the band, dude. Like, there's some people that only know Sergio live.
Yeah.
And,
that's wild,
it's just crazy to think, dude. It's crazy to think. Because think about it. Like, if they were 16 when they started going to Deftones shows, when Sergio first entered the band, they're 28 now. And,
that's a 16, trip. Yeah, you're totally right.
I mean, all they know is Sergio. Like, they know, hey, they had another bass player, on these other albums that had an accident and he passed. But I've never seen him live. But, I hear his music. But alive, all they know is Sergio. And that's just wild to think that.
It really is wild to think
they've been around that long.
Yeah. And, that's a long time, dude. That's a significantly, I mean, that is a career for a lot of bands.
4 albums, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of bands don't get to make 4 albums, It'd be huge and travel the world with each album. You know what I mean?
Word.
So it's just like, you got to think about that. There's some people that only know Sergio.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It is bonkers.
And to some extent, like, I'm indifferent. Indifferent isn't the right word, but I'm not all is lost, the band is through, all, you know what I mean? Like, I never felt that way when Sergio departed. However he left the band, whether he left voluntarily or was asked.
He was fired.
Like, I never felt like it was the end of Deftones. But a lot of people certainly did. So that resonates now. Like, that makes more sense now, because they really did only know. A lot of people really did only know Sergio.
Yeah. And I didn't think the band was over, but I didn't like it, because you don't want your band that you love breaking up in any way, shape, or form, because it's like, what's going on? Yeah. You want those pieces to stay together. But they have, like you're a group of friends, you're gonna argue sometimes.
Yeah.
And I could imagine just being on tour with a bunch of dudes. You're going to clash, and you're trying to be creative.
Your whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being really stressed out during the Saturday Night Wrist era. Like, that was way more stressful to me. Like, this felt like a blip, a drop in the bucket.
See, those were some horrible shows too. Like,
yeah, you remember those shows being bad,
dude, Drunk Chino's cool like one time. But like, not even drunk, like that time frame. It's cool one time, I guess. And then it's like, man, dude, we got to do something about this, man.
Bro.
We gotta figure this out, dude. And but yeah, man, it's cool one time. And you know, there's that famous show at a festival in Europe where he dropped his pants and he tucked his dick and all that.
Yeah.
There's pictures of that online, and it's wild, dude. I mean, but dude, I can only imagine just being that famous and just like, you know,
everybody dissecting or critiquing every little thing, like trying to maintain a shred of like
it's got to be crazy, man.
Yeah,
but I'm glad they figured it out, and that just goes to show you, man, your heroes are human just like you. They have issues, and you know, don't meet your heroes, you know, but if you do, you got to realize they're just like you. They just have a really cool fucking job. But you know, they have issues like you have issues, I have issues, she has issues, everybody has issues.
Yeah.
And you know, theirs just get magnified a little bit more, you know. So
a lot fucking more.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more.
But yeah, man, like those shows weren't that fun, but I still went to them, man. I had to.
Yeah, that's super dope. That's a really cool thing. I wish I could remember every one of the shows that I've been to, but
me too, man.
I know, because I know some of them were just like, well, thank God some of them are on YouTube, frankly. Like, it's like, oh shit, that was really fucking amazing and special.
Man, I wish the first show I went to was on YouTube, but it didn't exist. There really wasn't digital cameras that you could just carry around and record back in '98.
Yeah, people were sneaking the giant fucking whatever into their jackets.
I can't even find a set list. I've tried to find a set list and I can't find.
Oh, word? Like Setlist FM doesn't even have one?
No, it doesn't. It just shows the date that they played at this venue in Dallas. But yeah, man, I'm ready for some more shows, man, or a new album or something like that, man.
Well, that appears to be what's cooking, right? Like
that's what I hear, man.
That's the rumors, and I think that I think that's great. I think that's a great idea to just rush back into it and squash the rumors and go out there and hit the road again. Hopefully, they'll do another like full U.S. tour. Whether or not the international thing is going to happen is, I think, going to be anybody's guess, and also telling. You know what I mean? Like of what the future holds for the band. Like, will they continue to be to really beat the street in the UK or in Europe and everywhere else in the world? That'll be really. I'm sure the world is very interested to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like they have fans everywhere.
Everywhere. Name it, they have it. Like, you know, they've done shows in Russia. I mean, they do shows everywhere. Yeah. Like, I'd really like to go see them somewhere in like South America. That'd be cool. That'd be like the coolest. Like, I've had a couple of friends like see them in Colombia, I think. And yeah, that would be fucking cool to see them like somewhere in South America.
Yeah.
That would be dope. Or like Japan or something like that. I'd love to see them in Japan. Yeah. That would be cool.
Oh man, I would love to know what a Deftones show in Japan is like. I bet it's a lot like it is here. It's probably great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it'd be so different for us because that's not our culture.
Yeah,
and it would be so cool. You know, it would have to be dope as fuck, dude, just to see them in another country. I want to, maybe one day, who knows? I don't even know how I would buy concert tickets in another country.
I know, right? Is it as easy as buying Taylor Swift tickets?
No, dude, it has to be easier, dude. That was the hardest thing in the world. It was so frustrating. I've been buying tickets forever.
Right.
And I have never been. Ticketmaster has to be broken up. I mean, their monopoly is not fair at all.
Yeah, it's really tough that you can't even like. I mean, I wish you could. I remember going to a place to buy a hard ticket. Like that was.
I used to go to the grocery store up the street and get a ticket.
Yeah, like I remember waiting for tickets outside the goddamn grocery store.
Yes, because they had authorized dealers at the grocery stores. Yeah. You could buy tickets,
and that's I used to do. I'm not saying that that's like. You know what I want, but at least it's like I don't know, it feels more legitimate than the pre-sale business and whatnot. Yeah, it's whack.
Yeah, it's whack, dude. Like, how are you gonna sell out how are you gonna sell out of all the tickets in the pre-sale? It makes no sense.
The game is not for us. The game is
it
not.
Is not, man. Is not. I need to own Ticketmaster is what I need to do.
Yeah.
Go to any concert I want to.
Save some money. Save up some bread. You're going to be saving for a little while.
That's for a while. That's right, man. What's your favorite music video?
My favorite Deftones video.
Yeah.
That is a great question. It's funny. I was just talking about the Beauty School video, which is, I feel like,
that's a
really cool video. But I tell you what, that Ohms video is fucking cool.
It's good.
I really love the Ohms video. I really loved Ohms. Just and I know that there is some recency bias in my feelings towards Ohms, but man, the presentation of the album, the release, and the videos especially were just such a complete experience that I really enjoyed that. So I would probably say Ohms, although I really do love the Hexagram video as well.
I was so jealous. I know you had that dude on your podcast, and
Miguel was there.
And I remember, like, when they were like on their website, they were like, "Hey, we need fans to come to this location." Yeah. Like, why can't I live there and go to this video? And
I think that's part of the reason why I love that video so much, is because I remember having that exact same feeling, being like, dude, that is the coolest shit ever.
There's I'm like, those ain't paid actors. They're not paid to be there. Those are fans, like, and I'm
Come
like,
on.
oh no.
Yeah, love that.
I'm so jealous of them.
Yeah.
I was like, I would pay to be there.
For real. Like, yeah. I buy a ticket. I know they're not playing the song. I know they're playing to the track or whatever. Take my money.
Yeah. Here's my $20 for a ticket. Let's go. Oh, like, I see that. Or like the back to school video. And it's like, dude, why didn't they come to my high school?
Come to my school, bro. Yeah, I know.
Why ain't Chino screaming in the window, breaking it, at my school? But yeah, dude. I mean,
it's the realest shit.
I love the Romantic Dreams video. With the one with the skateboarder. Yeah. I love that video.
That's super cool.
Sex Tape is a good video. And Be Quiet and Drive. Now, the Bloody Cape video is real cool too. Do you remember like the Bloody Cape? They said was only going to be on their website for like a couple of days, and then it was going to disappear into the world.
Now that you mention it, it sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Remember that. There's like, you're only going to be able to watch it for X amount of time, so you better watch it now.
I probably watched the fuck out of it for however long.
I did too, because I thought it was going to disappear. And then little did I know, like, there's something like YouTube or whatever is going to pop up, and everything lives forever on the internet. Nothing ever gets deleted.
Dude, that's cool. I spent that whole summer in Dallas, believe it or not.
Did you?
Yeah, that 2003, that summer that self-titled came out. That's how I bought it in Dallas. Because my dad lived there. So it still lives around there. But I spent that whole summer in Mesquite, and was probably riding the same streets as you, bumping that shit.
Oh, dude, probably, man, jamming like didn't like. Oh man, yeah,
that's
dude,
cool as fuck to think about. That's super cool.
I had no real Deftone friends. I would just I took this one friend of mine to a show. She didn't know Deftones from a hole in the wall,
Word.
But she went, and Scars on Broadway, I think, was the name of this band that opened up for him. The guy from System of a Down.
Yeah.
And we're on the rail, and then she goes, "Rick, is Deftones going to be harder than this?" And I go, "Yes." And then she goes, "You see that restroom right there? We're going to meet there after Deftones. You have a fun time. I'm going to go drink." So after the show ended, I met her at the restroom because she was like, "I will die, and I don't want to die." And so she goes, "We'll meet there." But then, as social media starts becoming a thing, hey, what time you getting to the show? Okay, I'll meet you there. Boom, boom, boom. Start meeting. And I have, like, dude, because of this band and social media, I have met so many beautiful people I love, and so many friends I have made. I have made friends that I have trusted, watching my daughter, take my daughter into the ocean, go on vacation with me and my daughter. I have made so many people I love and absolutely adore because of this band. this little band from Sacramento and their presence on social media and other people like us, I have met so many beautiful people I love and so many friends that I see at shows or whatever. And when I see them at shows, and I'm not like, if you're at the show in your town where you live and I see my friend there, I'm happy for you because I'm like, fuck, they're posting fucking Be Quiet and Drive right now on their story. And I'm like, fuck, I know what it's like here in Be Quiet and Drive. And because of this band, I have met so many people that I love and I consider some really great friends. And it's absolutely amazing. This band has no idea what they've done to me and how they have affected my life in such a beautiful way. They have no idea. They'll never know. They're never going to ask me. I'm never really going to have an opportunity to tell them what they mean to me. Like, they were there when my daughter was born. They were there when my best friend got killed in Afghanistan. They were there when I got married. They were there when I got divorced. They were there when my own daughter almost died from her asthma attack. They have been there at every beautiful and ugly moment of my life. And, that means the world to me. And I've had several people in my life tell me that I wish I loved something as much as you love Deftones. I don't understand how you love a band that much, but I wish I did know how I loved the band that much. And, it makes no sense unless you love something that much that you don't have to love. I don't have to love Deftones, but I don't think you choose your beliefs. I don't think you choose who you love, but the way that their music and hit me and made me feel that first night, November 9th, 1998, until right now on this podcast with you, it has affected everything in my life, whether, like I said, good or ugly. And I feel very fortunate enough to make so many friends and acquaintances and all these people that, I fucking love, man. And people that have watched my daughter grow up and people that give a shit about me because of this band. They'll never know. I wish I could tell them. And I know I'm not the only person that feels that way, but that is my Deftones experience. Yes, the shows are nice. The albums are nice, but the stuff they've given me outside of those shows and those albums is even more amazing, and they'll never know. And I just hope they realize that one day when they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it'll feel like all of us are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because they've been there every fucking day of my life since that night when I first saw them. And that's what that band means to me. That means almost everything to me.
Amazing. That's amazing, man. That's it. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that they know. That's my goal. That is what this podcast is. Hopefully this season is really about letting them know. So hopefully I hope they get to hear it. All right. That seems like the perfect point to move to my last question, which is the question I ask everybody at the end of the podcast. It's inspired by something Chino said on a pod about the only reason he tweets out links to songs he likes on YouTube is because he thinks that's the best shit that he can communicate on social media. So in that spirit, give me some recommendations to shit that you think people should check out, spend some time with. Any three things at all. It doesn't have to be limited to music. It can be all music. It doesn't have to be any music. It can be anything in the world that you think people should spend some time with.
I think people should respect more.
Okay.
I think people should love more, and I think people should hate more.
Talk about that.
Respect. Most people deserve respect. And, respect is earned. And I think a lot of people deserve to be respected more. And in life, you like something or you dislike something. And then there's another level to that, to where you love something and you hate something or somebody, whatever. And I think we should love more. And it's okay to love. It should be limited. And I think we should hate more. And it's okay to hate, but it should be even more limited than love. So I think, I hate what I hate, but it's for very good reasons, because I love what I love more. And I think it should be, everything sacred about life should be protected. And I just, we just need to respect, love, and hate more. And because there's some bad people out there and bad stuff out there. And, they need to be hated and exposed. I know that might not make sense to a lot of people, but if you understand the way I think and believe and like that, it makes sense. I think there's nothing wrong with any of those emotions, and most people won't admit it, but we do have those emotions in life, and it's okay to like, dislike, love, or hate. But love and hate should be very limited, and people should deserve whatever emotion they have earned from you. But we need to respect more. We respect more, we love more. So those are three things. But I think everybody should listen to Fantagram too.
That's what's up. I like that.
Ricky Alexander, thank you for kicking it with me, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. I'm excited to rock out to Change with you at DIA this year. And that's 2 episodes in a row now with guests from Texas, but they won't be the last. The Texas chapter of the Goon Squad will be well represented this season. But for the next episode, we're going across the pond. Don't miss it. My name is Woody. You can reach me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Woodbruh. If you want to talk about my favorite band, hit me up. Thank you for listening to Deftones, and thank you for listening to Change in the House of Pods.